Back in February, we called the absolute bottom on Soundhound, and I made an entire video going over why I thought that there was a very good chance the price was going to bounce inside of our smart money zone. Since then, over the past basically 160 days, the stock is up about 150%. And in this video, I'm going to share with you, number one, why we were bullish on the first place so that you can replicate this with many other stocks within your trading. Number two, we're going to talk about my position because I'm currently up pretty massively and where I think things are going to go and kind of shake out from here, what my next targets are going to be. And I also want to cover the unusual options activity that I posted about that came in on September 5th, because these calls are now up over 330% since I posted these less than about 3 weeks ago. So hit the follow or the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of these trade ideas and all of my analysis. And let's get into this video. Now, back within the post that we initially did in February 24th, one of the main reasons in that video that we talked about our bullishness or the potential bottom on Soundhound was because price was trading inside of our smart money zone at that point. So if we actually use a bar replay on TradingView and we go back to what price action was looking like back then, this is the exact setup that we had. Now, within our trading strategy, there's basically two major frameworks that we look for. The very first thing is going to be bullish structure. What we want to see here is the market or whatever asset that we're trading breaking out, pulling back from that breakout to make a higher low, meaning that we're not taking this previous low out. Then the market will normally break out again, pull back, and break out again. And what we specifically are looking for here is to be buying within discount ranges. So basically within this area here and this area here, so that we can play that subsequent breakout. Those specific discount ranges are called the institutional buy zones and the smart money zones. These are normally going to be the absolute lows that an institution is going to allow the stock to pull back to, or whatever asset that you're trading, before they decide to step in and save the overall structure. The reason for this is they are getting in at a massive discount. They are not paying where price action recently was, in this case for Soundhound, up around $22 in January of 2025. They're waiting for that pullback. That means that they're going to be getting the asset at, in this case, about a 70% discount. So if they are going to step in, this is where they're going to do it at. And with just this framework alone, I've made over $5.2 million in the past 4 years with a 58% win rate. Now, as price comes into this smart money zone, we are going to see that price starts to find a bottom, which is exactly what we want to see. So we're going to look to enter inside of that smart money zone. What we want to see from that point is buying pressure entering the stock. That is the second aspect of this. This can normally be seen with the BX trender or this indicator at the bottom of your screen. When this shifts from dark red to light red, that is a shift that buyers are stepping into the market. And if buyers are stepping into the market within our discounted pricing, then that means that we're normally going to get a massive move to the upside. Now, we teach this in detail in our 5-step path to profit masterclass series, which is completely free, down in the description. All the indicators, the exact entry and exit requirements, they are all there. The link to that entire masterclass series will be in the description for free. From this point, we look to enter inside of the smart money zone and then play the breakout to the upside, which, if we fast forward, that is exactly what has happened. From that low up to where we are right now, the stock is up about 167%. And with this framework in mind, we are really only right about here, meaning that there's still a chance that price can run to all-time highs, which means best case, our target could be about $24, even to maybe even up to $28 or $30. A good example of this playing out is a recent stock that we've been trading, such as Reddit. We started trading this inside of our smart money zone back here on the 7th of April. Since then, the stock was up highs about 250%, now up about 194%. Another one is AMD. Entered inside of the smart money zone. Stock is now up about 94%. I think we'll eventually hit 220 by the end of the year. So this is replicatable across many different stocks and really is my main strategy. So with that in mind, let's now talk about the unusual options flow that came in on September 5th. We're going to go over what specifically made it unusual and why I ended up taking a position within my smaller fund based off of that trade. Now, if you want to learn in detail how to actually read these unusual options flows, they are part of step 4 within that 5-step masterclass series that we talked about down below under the options flow mastery course. But I posted these because they were hitting all of the things that we look for. You can see at the time that there was 106,000 volume on 9/4. That means there was 106,000 of these contracts traded within a single day. The next day, there was 83,000 volume, which once again means there's 83,000 of these contracts traded within a single day. This is very unusual because if we look down below, the normal volume in a day is about 2,000 to 3,000. So when we see this type of buying coming in the options market, and on top of that, we have a really good setup from a technical standpoint that's meeting all of our criteria, buying coming into the weekly BX trender. And if we look at the daily BX trender, you can see that it was also showing a ton of buying pressure coming into the stock. It's a pretty damn good sign that the stock itself is going to break out, which is exactly what ended up happening. Now, the stock itself is up about 40%, and those calls are up about 330%. And I did alert my Discord community today that I was taking a little bit of my profits off the table. So far, I've closed out about $16,000 in those call options for Soundhound, and I'm still holding a little bit more. Now, this brings us to where I think this thing is headed within the next couple of weeks and next couple of months. Well, short term, my best case scenario is a push up to about $21 to $22. We talked about market structure here, and where we are right now is basically in this most recent leg. So I think that short term, what would probably occur here is that price would continue to push to best case maybe $21 to $22, pull back a bit, and then look for another rally. That's why I started taking some of my call options off the table from a short term perspective. But if we zoom out to the bigger time frame, such as the weekly, we know that this main structure or framework is still in play. And so I think that if we're looking at the next 3 to 4 months, Soundhound can easily move another 40% up to $26 and maybe even best case about $30 by the end of this year. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you want to learn how to trade exactly like this, go ahead and check out our entire masterclass series. The link is down in the description. I'll see you next time.